We'll go ahead and again use the chat function for individual questions, but Peanut, if you could just start us off with how the first couple practices have gone, and does it feel good to be back to some sort of normalcy on the floor?
It feels great to be back, and I think the medical staff and everyone who's been working behind the scenes made it possible for us to be doing what we do today. And I didn't realize until basketball was taken away from me from quarantine how much I took it for granted. And I can tell from my other teammates, and you can just tell how hungrier we are to play. And practices are more competitive. We're talking a lot more. It's positive, although a lot of things are happening outside the world. With us in here, it feels like nothing's happening. Like it's just us playing basketball, the game we love.
Okay, great. Brian Howell, go ahead and kick us off again.
Hey, Peanut, nice to see you. Got a couple questions for you. So first off, I'm curious from a player's perspective, how have you adjusted to wearing the masks? And I know it's been a few weeks that you guys have started doing that in training, but how have you adjusted to wearing masks and daily testing and all those things that have not been part of basketball in previous years?
At first, in the summer, when I first came here, we didn't have daily testing, so we had to wear a mask everywhere. We had to practice with masks on, lift weights, and it was very hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to breathe, and I would legit just take off my mask just for a gasp of air. But now that we've developed daily testing, we don't have to wear a mask while we're practicing, only off the court when we're not in a drill. So it's really nice. It's almost back to normal. And like I said, we couldn't have done it with everyone who worked behind the scenes.
And then just a different question for you. Coach Payne was just mentioning you as a junior is much different than you as a freshman. You've played well the previous 2 years, but I know you've had some physical challenges as well. And so tell me your mindset coming into this year, and if you've done anything to try to, if you've learned things about your body to keep yourself physically fit throughout a full season.
What I've learned is I have to get treatment. So every day I get treatment before and after, because with years come maturity, but also my body is taking a lot more. So yeah, with treatment, and I think I'm just a more of a mature player this year. So it's really helped me, like guiding the freshmen and helping them, because I've been there. I know what it is, and I can't imagine what they're going through with this whole COVID situation.
Okay, Cory?
I'm going to follow up what Brian asked you, because I know that in between your freshman and your sophomore year that you worked really hard in getting stronger because you knew what it took to play in the Pac-12. What kind of challenges did you face this offseason to try to maintain that strength that you had and maybe even build a little bit more? I'll bet that was something. I know you had a chance to go back home and you were running hills and trying to do whatever you could, but I would imagine it was quite a challenge.
It was a challenge here and there. It was like motivation for me, because it just felt like I was by myself, because March is when we separated from everybody and we didn't get to see everyone until July, almost the whole team. So it was hard. I'm not going to lie. It was hard to motivate myself to work out, but I just had to remember at the end of the day, it's for my team, always for my team. So I think when I put my team first, that's when my mindset is right and when I want to work. But I lost it a little during the beginning of quarantine because COVID was new, this whole shutdown, staying indoors. I think with the normalcy that we have now, it's a lot better. And being with the team is so much better rather than being individual.
Cory, you muted yourself.
I know. I'm trying to get back, and I've done so many of these Zoom calls and meetings and stuff. I should be better at this.
You're not as bad as Pat Rooney. Go ahead.
Oh, good to know. I'll make sure I tell him that next time I see him. Coach is talking about, and Obs talked about this too last week, about how it feels more competitive in practice. And I try to get Aubrey to kind of expound on that a little bit. Can you kind of expound, what does that look like to be a more competitive team compared to last year, compared to 2 years ago? What's different?
I think the levels of effort that each of us give, it's 100% every day. Whether you're tired, fatigued, had a bad day, we know we set an expectation and we want everyone to meet that expectation at practice every day on a consistent basis. I think last year the inconsistency led to the inconsistency we had in games. So I think this year we want to focus on being competitive, being ready, like for the Pac-12 and for games coming up, because it's a short amount of window that we have to train. So I think with us being competitive will help us get into game mind mentality and style of play.
Hey, Brian, go ahead, and then we'll go to Sarah right after.
Just one more for me, Peanut. I'm curious, on a personal level, is there a part of your game that you feel like is better, or that you've really tried to emphasize to be better for this year?
This year, I want to emphasize my shot. Like, I want to be able to come off and do a pull-up J or shoot a 15-footer off of a ball screen. I've really worked on my 15-footer because I know I'm not the biggest or the fastest in the paint. So I know I can score in the paint, but I want to add a 15-footer shot. So I'm be able to be a double threat this year.
Go ahead, Sarah.
As far as this season, you've got a good amount of the core back, but who's going to be the biggest surprise or the biggest addition to your lineup this year?
I think everyone's going to be a good surprise, but I'm really excited to see how Frida plays because she's from Denmark, and I'm interested in internationals because they all bring in different aspects of the game, or they play different styles that we've never heard of, or different rules. And so I'm really excited to see what Denmark basketball is all about and what Frida has learned out there to, probably bring some skill sets for our other PGs to have. So I'm excited. She's a very mature player for how old she is.
And a follow on on y'all having a short preseason before the Pac-12. How big of a factor do you think that'll be, or do you think 3 non-conference games is enough to be ready for the Pac-12?
I don't think it's enough, but I think with everything that's going on, we have to make it doable. It's part of, being college players. So we got to do what we got to do to get the job done. So whether it's 3, 10, 1, 0, whatever it is, we're going to be ready by Pac-12 play.
Okay, any more questions for Peanut? All right, Peanut, appreciate
Thank
your
y'all.
time, and
Thank you, Peanut.
thank you everybody for being on.